Barstool, late night, party on, excellent.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Barstool at Night. This is Eddie with Carl. Carl, I love that we're progressing here with the tie. Needless to say, it's good to see you.
Ed, it's always a pleasure. Never anything less.
Yeah, before we bring out our guest today, this is kind of improv in here. I mean, what an act to follow. We got guys popping fucking champagne, smoking cigars. Coach Doug's wins a big one. I mean, what a day for Coach Doug's.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Tennessee, they get the Natty Championship on the way out the door. It's going to be a big free agency season, but no one's talking about it right now. It's like Bill Belichick gets the 6 hours after the championship game. Nick Saban likes to take 7.5. I'll be interested to see what Doug's does before he gets back on the recruiting trail.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. You know what? It's fine. I'm sure Doug's did Letterman or whatever, but we're happy to have our guest. We're excited to have her. So fuck whatever Doug's is going to do tonight. So
we have like a big J guest, like a questionable, and maybe we can get to it. Mole at Barstool Sports, somebody who's navigated the path of Barstool. She's electric. I'm kind of scared because I feel like she will just bust anybody's balls at anybody at like any time. But
she's a wild card. Let's bring her out. Her name is Trysta Krick. She's here. Trysta, how are you?
What an intro. I know that I gave you one hell of an intro, Carl, when we did BFFs, but that was very, very good. I know that was like a tip of the cap there.
It's exactly. Thank you.
And my intro to you was your very first, not your pseudo first day, I guess, right?
Yeah, I was just actually talking about that moment today. I was speaking with one of the producers, Aria, about how wild that day was. Just like how when you haven't been to the Barstool office really before, and how if that was your first foray into it, remember, because they had those guys that were the 5'10". So for everyone who wasn't listening to that radio episode, it was like Eddie was in the office as the host, which barely ever happens. And that was my first introduction. And then they had a couple of guests that were trying to peddle Dave to wear 5'10" and under clothing. So for men, 5'10" and under. And they brought them in to speak with them while I was doing my tryout. And at the same time, Spider was trying to wrangle the Starbucks barista because Dave was pissed that the Starbucks barista was sweetening his iced coffee and not asking him. And I was my head was spinning.
It was quite the day. It was really quite the day. And I think we've done radio a couple more times since, but 1 out of 3 times you got fired. So I hope this live show goes a little better than that. But regardless, it was a blessing fire. I think we've talked about that before.
Oh, for sure. For sure. It was like, I think I was fired for like 45 minutes.
Exactly. So, all right, our first topic today, the documentary aired on Sunday, Long Gone Summer. We want to talk about memorabilia collectors, okay? So this guy caught Mark McGwire, or he somehow ended up with Mark McGwire's 70th. He sold it for $3 million because McGwire would not meet up with him. Like Carl said, you're kind of a big J. You ever have any run-ins with some celebrities? Anyone you kind of weren't happy with? Any athletes like that, Trysta?
Man, a lot. That happened a lot to us. I would say the most awkward interview I've ever done was, you know what? There was 2. It was actually around the same time. So the first one was with Delaney Walker, and I love Delaney, and it was actually my fault. I had, I think, like 30 interviews in the span of 3 days. And so you're like having one every 10 minutes. And so you've got the iPad like with your notes because you can't keep them straight because agents are like peddling these like D-level athletes. And then like they're like dangling the A-level ones for the D. There's like horse trading going on. So I think I had someone right before or right after Delaney that had an intro, and it was the wrong intro. And it was live, and Delaney was like, I never played for that team. We need to stop. Like, we need to stop recording, and, like, we need to restart. And I was like, well, we can say we're going to restart, but we're live. So let's just pause and not do anything. Just sit here, and you in your mind can pretend that we've restarted, but we have not restarted. And his sweat was beating on the top of his forehead, and he was wearing sunglasses. It was so awkward. It was 10 minutes of just like my skin was crawling.
Just get me the fuck out. Yeah, no, that's Carl. That I could imagine. That's like the Southwest commercial. Want to get away? Like you just don't do anything to get the fuck out at that point.
I'm a big Southwest guy. Good transition, Ed. And you know what? I have two notable ones. Nothing personal like that, where I kind of had a chance to be behind or a chance to create content offend anyone yet. But my two ones, Ozzie Guillen, age 7, went and signed a ball for me, Sox Fest. He was out of the line. Now, Ozzie Guillen redeemed himself 26 years later at Barstool Chicago headquarters when he spent 4 hours with us doing an interview. We actually had to ask Ozzie to leave. We're like, we go home now. I have to go home for my wife. So, like, the interview's over, Ozzie.
Karl Malone did that to me when I was a kid.
Who did that?
Karl Malone.
Well, that's a Carl with a K, so that's a different Carl. He's not in my fraternity of Carls. The other one is actually Jeff Conine, Ed. Jeff Conine dogged me on a foul ball one time. He was like, hey, Jeff Conine. It was the 2005 season. I was at a White Sox game. White Sox won the game. They went out to win the World Series. My buddies had a blast. I hated it.
I don't expect it out of Conine.
I wouldn't either. And I'm friends with Jeff Conine's son, who is a Duke baseball player that I went out one night when I went to Duke to go watch a basketball game, and I went out with the baseball team one night, and those guys are fucking crazy.
Wow. I don't understand McGuire. Why the fuck won't you just meet with the guy?
It was a historic game too. Like, just get your fucking ball and go.
Yeah, bro.
What would you do if you got the ball? You would want to meet Sammy, right? Or would you sell out?
I mean, it depends. Now I'd sell out. But is it like when I was my age in 98, 8 years old, I'm meeting Sammy for sure.
No, I'm taking the money 100%.
You were a hustler like that at a young age? Like,
yeah, I mean, while I lived in a real poor neighborhood, that would have been life-changing money.
All right, yeah. I mean, to each their own. I wish if I were like sitting here now and 8-year-old me did that, I'd be like, you're a fucking idiot, 8-year-old dad. But,
yeah.
You know.
We were
$3 million deal. That would be the most amazing thing. That would be more amazing than Sammy hitting 66, hitting 70. Like that. That's it.
Could you imagine that? Like just getting something like that, like completely out of the blue, and it's like it's a lottery ticket in the form of a baseball.
Yeah,
legitimate.
$30,000 a year when he caught it.
Crazy.
I don't understand. Like, I thought McGuire was kind of a cool guy while watching that doc, and that story makes me think this guy's an asshole.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you got to think that he kind of seemed like a stiff to me. He was just kind of like, I don't know, but he. I mean, I don't think there's – how can you not call him an asshole if you're in that story? But regardless, we'll move it on here. Second story here came out that American Airlines, and I'm blanking on the other airlines right now, Delta, they're ceasing alcohol operations, at least for the time being. Trysta, I know you don't drink. I'm curious, would this enhance your plane experience? Like, do you see this as a positive, or do you, like, not really care – you do your thing, like I'm going to do mine? I
think for me, there's like a balance, right? Like I don't want to sit next to anyone who's got anxiety. I remember sitting next to someone, it was their first time on a plane and they had anxiety. And they kept wanting me to give them like play-by-plays about what was going to happen next. And I legit thought that they were going to ask me to hold their hand. And I'm just like, I don't want to talk to you. I have my earphones on. So if I was able to just order that person like a whiskey Coke and just like put the bows back on and go into my own corner, I would much prefer that than just like a nervous Nelly who had no place to calm down.
Was it like a creepy person, or was it just like, what kind of person was it?
It was someone it was like middle-aged guy. And I think he was like, I think I was going from New York to somewhere. I forget where. But it was across the coast. I remember it was like a 5-6 hour flight.
That's a long flight.
And I remember being like, this is gonna be. I was like, he was like doing this, And I'm like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, this is my first time flying. And I was like, are you joking? He's like, no, this is my first time on a plane ever. And he's like, well, what's gonna happen? Like, is that sound okay? Like, what was that sound? So fight.
Yeah, I just talk to people. I don't like talking to people on planes. I'm just
I kept kind of like doing, this.
What do you think, Carl? You like to have a couple cold ones on there. Is this really an experience?
I'll tell you who's the real winner in this one, Ed. Okay, it's the airport bars. It's the Riley's daughters of the midways. It's the fucking classics. And the issue the flight attendants are going to have to run into is a higher threshold of training when the people initially get on the plane, because you're going to have significantly more hammered people. The other thing we got to talk about, K2, just quickly, pharmaceuticals and illicit drug use. 1,000 feet, not a good fucking idea. If you're going to take your Xanax, take it early. I'm not saying I'm above that or below that. I'm just saying deep breaths, Carl. You don't know that bathroom plane is going to be like a fucking vape party in there. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be wild. Turn it up. Or bring your own booze. Okay?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you're right. People are going to be hammered. Then they're going to get on a plane and ask for a beer. They're like, oh, we don't have that. It's going to get maybe more aggressive at that.
How are you going to bring your own booze, like in 4-ounce little bottles?
Import exports. You see those,
or like in the duty free.
Just like shuffle it in a carry-on or something, and then just I think right.
I think you got to get it in the duty free.
Oh, that's all the more reason. You know how you carry it on, Trysta? Guys like me, this is how we carry on.
Carry on. Moving on to our last topic. All right, Trysta, we talked about you on radio. I think it was Monday.
I tuned in for that.
Yeah, you kind of rocked our world. I know you've been rocking everybody's world on Sunday. The Sunday sermon, I thought it was like the man upstairs, but now it's all about sex and dick and shit. So it's been entertaining to say the least, though. Let's roll the video. We do have a video here that you said, and then I want to bring on Chief.
All right.
Life is so much more than just the eggplant. If you're paying attention, it's almost exclusively everything but the eggplant. Think about it.
All right, so a little summary there. After that, you write the blog, I believe, and you write, here's what some other sensitive spots, and you talked about the inner wrist and stuff, and that's where my guy Chief comes along, and Chief, I'll give you the floor.
Well, I mean, I feel like I'm getting sewered here, number one. You tell me 2 minutes before we're going on the podcast, oh, hey, we're bringing you on for the sex topic right before we go on. So that's number one. Little heads up. Maybe I could have put my thoughts together. My comment to our social media guy, Danny, was that, yeah, I had heard of that. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but I have heard of that move and touching other areas, belt line, all kinds of other inner thighs, other things that you can, see? Ooh, got her with the belt line. That wasn't even on your list. So maybe I do know a couple of things. And so I don't know.
Whoa. Knowing is different than I've heard. Now I'm hearing two different angles here, Chief. In the studio, it sounded like you were familiar with the technique. Now you're making it sound like you read it in a Playboy or something.
I mean, does people ever read Playboy? Yeah, no, look am I familiar with the technique? I have a technique, but I don't know if it's good or if I'm doing it right. But I've heard inner wrist, I've heard belt line, I've heard other things to touch. It's like an average dick guy's playbook. You got it. Yeah, you just give it a little.
Do it to me. Do it to me right now. Do it to me right now.
Let's be clear. This isn't one of those moves where it's you're a savage and you just grab her by the wrist and
right.
Out her wrist or lick her wrist or scratch her wrist. That's not what this is. That's not at all what I'm talking about. I'm talking about utilizing other areas that are erogenous zones that are not lips, neck, and B card, right? So, and the ones that everyone knows, right? So it's touching other things at the same time. It's not like you have cones. I swear to God, there are guys that are it's cones everywhere else.
Could you slow down and repeat some of this for a second?
Aren't you married?
Listen.
Trying to stay married.
You're always growing. You're always innovating. So just slower and more deliberate.
So I would say you need to be slower and more deliberate with her. That's what I would say.
Are you listening to this? No, shit. I'm getting sex advice, and apparently, I'm never mind. Never mind.
Going too fast and too hard and rushing through for yourself.
Do I go too fast?
I thought it was like Little Giants, in the icebox and fucking Junior Floyd are making out with their hand. You know what I mean? It was just kind of one of those type of things. So.
No, that wasn't. No, that's not what it means.
No, I know.
My wife just said I don't go too. She's like, no. So
you go really slow. You're basically in slow.
All right.
He's known for that. Yeah.
Put in some weight. Jesus.
What,
So in general, I think the average amount of time that men go between thinking about sex is like 7 seconds, right? Every 7 seconds you're thinking about that's what they say, right? About sex. So if that's the case, people should be doing more research about how to please.
That's what the sermon's here for, right?
What this sermon's here for. I got a text from Kate being like, oh, are we really going to teach men how to get women off in a way that they actually want to read? Amen, sister. You can be our Johnny Appleseed.
How about another question? Go one step further. How long should it last then? The whole process, start to finish.
I don't know that it necessarily needs to be consistent every time, right? Like, I don't think we need a whole 3-hour production every single time.
3 hours
session.
Did you say hour with an H?
Yes. I'm not advocating that,
Okay.
but I do think that there's steps that are rushed.
Trysta, what's the most mind-boggling, interaction you've had since you've been posting these? Like, you're like, I can't believe people actually thought this, like that they shot back at you.
So, well, besides that, I'm like a lesbian. That's like a top one. Not so much since the sermons, but I think I told you guys off screen right before we came on. This guy whose avatar is well, actually, I don't want to out him on the avatar. However, he's been asking me to critique his dick for over a month now, and I've given him the LOL no. He wants like lighting advice, angle advice. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And he's been upping the ante on the price. And today we have agreed on a price, which is a pair of Yeezys. Yeezys come in the mail, and that's my price.
I'd be hesitant to set the market publicly like that. Like, now,
well, there's a lot of variation on Yeezys. There are pairs of Yeezys for like 12 G's, which I will certainly do.
Yeah, you're talking to 3 guys that don't know how much Yeezys are.
Yeah.
Those are shoes.
They're shoes, yeah.
I wear Allbirds. So
do you?
they're like organic Yeezys, yeah.
In Ariska.
Wait, my last thing before we go to trivia, what the avatar? What, it's just like a picture of like Matt Harvey, or like what? I'm like intrigued by the avatar.
It's a picture of Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems.
Okay, all right. I knew it was something that people would know. So.
Yeah, I didn't want to like. He asked very specifically, like, please do not put me in the sermon if I do this.
I'm sure there's a bunch of avatars like that, but all right, there's our.
Everybody reading the sermon, please don't do that too. Like, don't do that to us either. So.
Oh, also, before we go to trivia, the point, I think you made it, Chief, that this was like a blog specifically made for like guys with small dicks. That's not what this is. That's not
Okay.
that's not
but if you have a small dick, this is good news.
No, that's not true, because here's the thing.
So it's still bad news.
I get very worked up about this, because I've had some of the most terrible sex with men with like abnormally large penises, because they feel like they don't need to do anything else besides like just pound baby pound. And it's like that's not at all what this is work. This doesn't work. Like
that's what I'm saying. It was like that was a good if you should read that blog. If you have a small dick, you can read that blog that you wrote.
Or a large dick.
But be encouraged that you can get over the finish line no matter what you're working with.
I honestly think girls care way less than guys care about dick size. I think guys in general are like, really, it's a dick measuring contest between you guys. And above a certain threshold, right, there's a minimum acceptable threshold. And anything above that, it doesn't matter.
Can I just put something out there, dick size, real quick? Historically speaking, like going back forever, like dick size was a measurement thing. Like that was obviously going, I've been doing tens of thousands of years forever. You'd be like, oh, look at the hog on that guy. And then we as a species realized dick size doesn't matter. That's why we started covering it up. Now, I know a lot of people south of the Bible Belt are going to say otherwise, but I'm just saying, like, that's to me.
What about like Roman statues? Those had pretty small dicks.
Yeah,
but that was.
And they were known as good lovers.
But that was on purpose,
Greeks
because
too.
they thought that big dicks meant that you were with the devil.
Oh,
that's like a real fact. And Carl, we have the biggest dicks as primates. Like all primates have like super small dicks, except for us, because women were like, I want that big dick. So we evolved to have bigger dicks than other men.
I think it was like, oh my God, that guy's so strong. I don't want to fight that guy because he has such a big dick.
That's the Chief sermon. He's going to add in tidbits like that. So thank you, Chief. All right, now it's time for, you said pound, baby, pound. That makes me think of one guy. It makes me think of White Sox Dave. So it's time for Are You Smarter Than White Sox Dave?
Bye, Carl.
You swap out Carl and myself. And Trysta, good luck.
I'm worried.
You're worried? I mean, I feel like this is
White Sox Dave.
Smarter than White Sox Dave.
all right. We have Dave on here. Dave,
Hold on, before you start, I want you to tell Trysta the evolution factoid about boobs
Oh, yes, please.
and mammalian boobs.
humans are the only mammal that has enlarged breasts when they're not breastfeeding. Just because we love boobs so much, we just want them out all the time. But every other mammal, they're just like, I don't know, flat or whatever until they are nursing. It's a fact for you.
That is an interesting tidbit.
I thought so. Dave loves that fact. Dave
Physiological.
also-
It's a great fact.
yeah. Hey, Dave, now before we got started, you were saying that you had some type of new anti-cheating measure that I didn't understand that was with your phone.
Hold on. Well, it's loading now, and my phone's about to die. But I'm gonna stream from this
Convenient.
side. I'm gonna stream from my phone
Mm-hmm.
with it facing the computer, so you can see that
Won't
I
it have
don't
an
click
echo?
the chat.
And have that echo the whole time?
I mean, now you shouldn't.
Okay.
I turned it down.
All right. Sounds good. All right. So, Trysta, if you want to just, I don't know, cover your ears, we can put you on mute, something like that, because we let Dave go first. It's an anti-cheating measure. So we're going to have 6 questions for him. We'll bring you back on. You get the same 6.
That's fine. So I'll
All
turn
right.
the volume down.
All right. And Dave, you let me know when you're ready with your anti-cheating method. You got it?
I should, yes.
All right. Question number 1. The Seattle Supersonics no longer exist, Pacific Northwest team. Tell me who was their last first-round pick.
Kevin Durant, was it?
Kevin Durant, final answer?
Yeah, I'll go with Kevin Durant.
Okay. The Celtics and the Lakers have the
Oh,
most.
what's with all the NBA?
We got 2 NBA questions. Is that all right? Trista's a big basketball person.
Continue.
All right. Celtics and Lakers have the most finals appearances. Who has the third most? Which franchise has the third most NBA finals appearances? Not championships, appearances.
I'm gonna go with I don't know the answer. It's Bulls were the 60s. They had 6. I don't think they went in the 60s or 70s. I'm gonna go with the Knicks, but you said Lakers and Celtics?
They're the top 2. I'm looking for
Yeah.
the third. The
No,
third,
I'm gonna go Detroit Pistons.
Detroit Pistons. Okay. Similar to last week's question when we had Snoop Dogg's last name, give me Ice Cube's full name.
I swear to God, 10 minutes before we logged on,
Mhm.
I got a picture of someone. They were canoeing in a stream, and it was in Georgia, and there was a snake the size of like the state of Oregon. And I'm like, is that the snake that tried to eat J-Lo and Ice Cube?
Mm-hmm.
And I
So it's
have
top of mind.
no idea what the answer is. What
Okay.
is Brodus? I'm gonna go with Brodus.
Okay, it's not. I mean, that was.
I
Snoop
know.
Dogg. Yeah.
No, I don't know the answer.
All right. What were the first 2 states to fully legalize recreational marijuana?
I don't know. I'm gonna go California, Colorado.
Okay. All right. 5th question. What is the northernmost state in the lower 48 states?
It's either the answer is Minnesota. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Tomorrow is something called Juneteenth, which is a celebration of the Emancipation Proclamation. That was signed by Abe Lincoln. What number president was he? So George Washington was
16th. The
How much?
16th.
16th. Okay.
Pretty sure it was the 16th.
Okay. All right, Dave. And you think there's
Can I
no
turn this
cheating?
down?
I don't know what the phone was really supposed to accomplish, but
Because never mind. I'll explain later.
all right. Well, we can bring Trysta back.
I got
All right, Trysta, I got you a couple basketball questions, a hip hop question. Yeah, you're good to go. You hear us? You good? I can't hear you.
Okay.
You're good.
All right, you're good. All right. So a couple basketball questions, one hip hop question for you. I'm not a big hip hop guy. I did the best I could. So let's see how you do. Let's see if you're smarter than White Sox Dave. You said you were nervous. Why are you nervous?
Because I've heard that White Sox Dave is a savant, and he just wins every single trivia thing that he does, and typically wins every event that he competes in. And so
That's true.
that's a scary phenomenon.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. First question: who was the last first-round pick for the Seattle Supersonics? So before they moved to OKC.
Oh yeah, that's easy. That's Russ.
Final answer?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you know that for a fact?
I mean, I was a Portland Trailblazer fan and Seattle's.
That's right. That's right.
Question number 2. We have the Celtics and Lakers have by far the most NBA Finals appearances. There's only one other team that's in double digits. So who has the third most NBA Finals appearances?
Can you repeat that question?
Which NBA franchise has the third most NBA Finals appearances?
So it's Celtics, Lakers. Is it the Bulls?
You going with Bulls? Final answer?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
You
not a
didn't
lot.
give me double digits on mine, just so you know.
Okay.
I don't know if I got it,
Wait,
but
you said double digits?
Yeah, the third most. So it is in double digits. I don't know how that would help either one of you, but it's double digits. Third question. I need you to give me Ice Cube's real name.
Oh my God.
$30 seconds.
I don't remember.
Don't remember?
No, I do not.
Is this one gonna like kill you?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I mean, if I hear it, I will remember. You know what I mean?
Does it help that his son has the same name?
now it does.
It's like a. Oh man, I don't remember.
Okay. All right. Question number 4. What were the first 2 states to fully legalize recreational marijuana?
Colorado.
Okay.
Did you give a hint on my rapper question? I'm sorry, I'll shut up.
Yeah. Can you shut up, please? Colorado and one other one.
Washington.
Okay.
That's actually a sneaky good pick.
Question number 5. What's the northernmost state in the lower 48?
Isn't his name Shay or O'Shea? Hold on, I'm still thinking about.
O'Shea Jackson.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it is those.
Because you said Curtis Jackson, didn't you?
I didn't say anything. I didn't have any names.
Yeah.
I said that last week. I'm like,
I just
Jackson.
punted on it. Okay, so what's the last question?
Northernmost state in the lower 48. So not Alaska, not Hawaii. Northernmost state in the lower 48.
It's on the East Coast, right? Maine?
Final answer? What's going on here?
I guess.
Okay, final answer. Okay. Tomorrow is Juneteenth. It's the celebration of the Emancipation Proclamation. It was signed by Abraham Lincoln. What number president was he? So if George Washington was 1, Trump's 45, what number was Abe Lincoln?
16.
16. Okay. Okay. I got bad news, Trysta. You're not smarter than White Sox.
I didn't think I was.
Yeah,
That was the only one I knew was he was the 16th.
that's the only
Oh,
one.
that's right.
Yeah, that is right.
Yeah.
You both got that one right. Minnesota has the northernmost part.
Oh, really?
In the
Yeah.
lower 48.
I knew that.
It is Colorado and Washington. So Trysta, you got that one right. We said O'Shea Jackson. The Golden State Warriors. So they had some with Wilt Chamberlain with the Philadelphia Warriors, and they had.
See, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say the 76ers. When
Yeah.
like after I already answered. Who did I even answer? The Pistons.
Yeah, you said the Pistons. I think
What?
they have 4.
Yeah, that's what I. So they had 4, but you didn't tell me double digits. So
But I mean, that wouldn't have helped you. It doesn't help you. It's double digits. Anyways, but they have 11.
Well, I wouldn't have answered the Pistons then.
Yeah,
I would have thought about it.
Sneaky Pistons were sneaky too. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, but then once you hear double digits, you're like, well, the bad boys plus that one, that's not enough.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Same thing with Bulls. I was like, well,
Yeah.
once I knew that there was double digits, I was like, it's not the Bulls.
Yeah. So Wilt and then the current Warriors run is what got them to 11. And then it was Kevin Durant was their last pick.
Oh, when she said Russ, I was like, fuck, she's
that was the difference in the game right there. So
Really?
2007, he played his rookie year with Seattle. The next year was Russ. Was the
I guess you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So very close, Trysta. I mean, I feel like we've learned.
Respectable?
What's that?
Was it respectable?
Yeah, pretty respectable. 3-2, close game. Both people on the board. We've had a few guests come on and get blanked. So, congratulations to you. We're definitely not the worst guest. I feel like we've learned probably more from you than you learned from us in this trivia anyway. So on this show, so we're learning new facts every night or every Sunday rather. So yeah, pretty good. I don't know if we want to bring Eddie and Carl back on here for the end. There's Eddie. Here we go. So.
Hey, Carl, are you going to invite me to play golf? You didn't really say yes or no. You just said, are you good?
Yeah, no, we can play golf anytime. I said anytime, anywhere. You go, can we play golf?
I don't think
anytime, anywhere.
I don't think I saw the anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
Let's look.
Let's go to the tape.
Let's go to the tape.
Live to the tape.
No. Nope.
Yep.
Nope. Oh, you did.
And then I immediately followed up with, I heard you're really good too.
That's why. Yeah, that's why. That's the part I saw. I
See?
thought that was the retort.
I got hot thumbs, okay? I
Hot
know what I'm
thumbs.
doing.
That's good for the wifey.
Yeah, so anytime, literally though, this is my golf swing. I'm like loading up here. I'm getting a heavy backside here. Anytime you tell me, I would be delightful. How'd you play Riviera? That's like one of the nicest courses in the world.
So I actually was, when I was trying to get into content, I had a job at this juice bar and a bunch of other jobs too, but I had a job at this juice bar. And like my second week, they asked like us on a company-wide email, does anybody want to like come to this charity tournament at this country club El Caballero in like the Valley? Do we need to go? Are we running short on time?
No, we're good.
So when I went there, I was like just slanging juice on the 16th tee box. And I remember somebody asked me if I could play, or somebody asked me if I could swing, and they had a left-handed set of clubs. And I hit the shot like pretty close. And we all started talking, and then I found out that these guys were all working for Lionsgate. And they were members at Riv. And I was like, oh, Riv, swanky course. Never played there. And then they invited me, and I became like sort of an honorary member. Like I started playing like once or twice a week there.
So like guys, that would be the equivalent of like all of a sudden they were like, hey, yeah, you could come play softball at fucking Dodger Stadium.
That's legit. That's very legit.
It was cool. They let me store my golf clubs there and park in the member lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was great.
We gotta have can I call timeout here for a second? The comment section's going crazy saying that Russ was the draft pick, that he was actually drafted by Seattle.
I swear he was.
But he never played for Seattle.
Yeah.
But when I looked up the complete draft history for the Seattle Supersonics, it ends in 2007. So I'll have
who's right?
What?
Who's right
When did
then?
they move?
I mean, the comment section. I mean, they moved after that season. Durant played his rookie year there.
Dave loses.
No,
That's
it'd be tied. It'd be tied.
So do you have a tiebreaker question? Or no?
Unbelievable.
No,
Unbelievable.
because it would just swing. Because now I looked up Russell Westbrook to NBA draft, and it says Russell Westbrook was selected 4th overall in the 2008 NBA draft by the Seattle Supersonics, which then relocated to OKC and became the Thunder 6 days later. I'm sorry, Dave. That's my bad. I have to award it to Trysta. Trysta, you are smarter than White Sox Dave. I want to get that right. So thanks to the comment section for bringing that to my attention, Dave. Turns out you're a dummy after all. And Trysta beat you.
I could
Wow, I was like,
trivia questions that I like. I don't get the answers wrong myself though.
Well, I mean, we'll never know. We'll never know. But you lost this one. So
Unbelievable. Well, Trysta, thanks for
"What's
joining
not
us.
Maine? It is Minnesota. So a bunch of people are saying Maine in the comments too.
no, it's Minnesota. That one's Minnesota.
I'm like, I knew that I've known that for a long time. It's Minnesota.
Yeah, but you still
Where did
lost.
you get your trivia knowledge from? Did you just read a bunch of random encyclopedias when you were growing up?
You talking about
Yeah.
I mean,
Basically.
I guess. I don't know.
Dave? Dave has like an.
I know I
automated
retain
information.
really random information, but all the important stuff that like I should remember, I suck at. So like all the useless stuff, it's crystal clear. I'll remember it forever. But like the important stuff gets me in trouble.
Yeah, like
There you
Dave,
go.
what mammals have their titties out all the time?
Humans.
Yep, that's right. You'll remember that forever.
Forever.
That's gonna be a trivia topic for sure in like 18 weeks.
Hey Trista, here's a question for you. Is it true that if men stop having sex like George Costanza did, they like get exponentially smarter?
I don't think so.
Like, because sex they become celibate, so sex doesn't cloud their brains 24/7.
But don't you feel like it depends on if you're flirting or watching porn?
Yeah.
Are you
don't know.
masturbating? Like, isn't that very? I think that's.
In the episode, George's girlfriend got mono, so like they just couldn't do anything, so he just moved that out of his brain.
Yeah, I think
It's a plot hole.
I think you can certainly be more productive if you're able to not have your brain shut off and then turn back on every 7 seconds. So if there's a way for you to push that out in any way.
Yeah, but like, what's the motivation to be productive if you're not ultimately like just trying to have sex? Why have a job? Why do anything?
That's right. And also, if your main motivation is to have sex, then your motivation should be to have sex well.
Or that
You know, that was poetic.
All right, people, the Oscar music's playing. Trista, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We got a sneak peek on a Sunday sermon, or what's going on? What else do you got coming up?
Still waiting on motivation. We're recording a new video series with some athletes and other notable figures. That's coming up. Stool Slang, Season 3, BFF playoff.
Oh my God! I just pulled up the comment section. Is Serge Ibaka the last draft pick?
No.
Oh, we'll never know. Trista, go check out that stuff. Thank you for joining us. We'll see everybody on
Barstool, late night, party on, excellent.